Hello everyone. Well, back in Journal 2, this will be the epilogue, and this will be part 1 for it. This will be Commander Hatton speaking in this one. Greetings in the light of the Radiant One. Thank you for being happy to receive my presence. I am pleased, Chila, or Student of Light, with your work of these past days. Hatton at your service, friends. It appears that the flooding of information requests regarding the creation, God, the God, and where does it stand, fit, and where do I fit, can use a bit of simplification for perception, more nearly attuned to you of Earth plane. I shall attempt a bit of it, but, Chilas, you must remember that you have no memory of the whole, as experienced on other dimensional levels. Therefore, to have full concept is something you will experience mentally and not on a physical piece of paper. Let us example a bit. If the new press says there will be a meteor shower at 12 o'clock midnight, might there be some meteors at 11:45 p.m. or at 3 a.m.? Further, if one appears at the west, perhaps there are only 4. To the north, 150, and 54 and directly above 1. Are they different? No, they are all a portion of the one projected meteor display. It is also quite impressive that you ones have meteors which travel from lateral position. I would think meteor shower would mean a rather vertical falling toward Earth, not across the heavens. So be it. Signs ye request. Signs ye get. It is not the responsibility of the sign giver to also be the audience. We know we are in thy heavens. And I'd like to make a point about that. If you'll stay out there long enough each night, just look up. Those aren't satellites. They got so many different, as they so-called satellites, going different directions. They're not satellites. Those are ships. Just like you see twinkling stars. But you'll believe what you want to believe and what you've been taught. More on the creation. Back to the creation. Recall the lesson ye have just recently received on duality versus one. There is only one. When you perceive a multiple as multiple, it's truly only one. So when you separate God from the creation, you put that problem to non-solution. The creation is above all, and God is one with the creation. You are one with God. Therefore also one with the creation. So you become a unit of one within God and creation. What you make effort to do is separate the facets into separate things, and they are not. They are aspects of one. Co-creators, co-organizers, co-experiencers, co-thought producers, co-players, and on into infinity. Just like us. So keep in mind, we are all those things as well. The circle of being. The problem lies in the effort at separation. The solution lies within the oneness. Since Paul is the most persistent questioner on the subject, let me example. Paul has an aspect that is gentle and all-giving. He also has an aspect that is quite cruel and selfish. Paul has an aspect that is a father, another aspect angry and resentful of his children. Paul is a teacher, but another aspect is foolish and cannot learn. Paul is married, but another aspect has no achievements whatsoever, no attachments whatsoever. Paul is an engineer, but one aspect cannot fix a good sandwich. Yet each have myriads of aspects. Can God and creation be granted as much? So be it, for it is so, no matter what you want to think. You can't confine God into your mind. Same with creation. You can't confine that in your own mind. Because you're making it something, whether it is or isn't. But you can believe what you want to believe. But at the end of the day, there's only truth. And that's the only thing that will stand. As long as you separate and identify as if there were more than one, you will not understand. You cannot understand. All is one. How many times I gotta repeat it? There can be no who came first. It began and will end in oneness. For neither is there a beginning or an ending. It's infinite. There's only is. All goes forth out from entity source, and therefore all will come back into the source. Just as if you reached forth your hand and picked up a morsel of food and placed it in your mouth. The hands and fingers went forth, still part of the one you. Picked up a morsel of food, brought it back, and placed it in thy mouth. Now the hand, fingers, and morsel of food have become one with you. However, in turn, you have then just became one with the morsel of food. It literally becomes a part of you. How do you think you grow? It's not just some magic. Let me ask you this. What makes the plant out there grow? Well, it doesn't just require the soil. It needs good soil, yes. Maybe good fertilizer. But it requires the sun. Where does it get its nutrients? You say that we only get mainly vitamin D from the sun. But where does the plant get it? It's getting it from somewhere. If it's not really getting it from the soil itself, maybe some. But it's getting it from the sun also. That's something we haven't been taught, really. But some of the scientists actually have looked into it and found that, I believe it's like vitamin A also comes from the sun and multiple other vitamins. That's why it's so good to get in the sunlight every so often, both morning and night. But you gotta think, those things grow out there from the sun, from light, and then you eat those things, made of those things, and what are you made up of then? Light. Literally. The entirety of all is only perceived aspects of one, no less, and do not try to make it more, for it is no more, and therefore no less. You ones of earth plane, look about you, and perceive all things as separate, manifested energy forms. A chair, a table, a typewriter, a cooking pot, etc. You perceive the same array within a dream of your choosing in thy night, and it is only one. All beloved ones is perception of aspects of the one. The higher understanding of these things come with thy opening insight, at its proper time of fulfillment, into knowledge. This is another example, just like that tree, it grows from light. You made that chair of what? Well, technically it's of wood, but it comes from a source. Light. It's like most things. Ponder these things, yes, but working on them too diligently only fogs thy receivers. All things within the universe are simple, orderly, wise, and completely feasible, and if ye clear thy circuits, the information can flow within. There's no mysticism. It's only a mystery waiting to be solved, a puzzle that's waiting to get put together. You just don't have the pieces, but they're right here if you're willing to look. If you can put it together yourself in your own mind. Just don't confine it to a box. Just like you do with your religions, and that's the only thing you can believe. Because that's what you believe. That's what you've been taught. All you need accept is that you are a working aspect of the whole. And go about wherever it is that aspect of God is experiencing. Oh, I missed a spot. Let's go back a little bit. Now Paul can go ask Ranos to explain it to him, but he will only get Ranos' explanation of his own perception, just like mine on some of these things I tell you. That's my perception, just like I give this perception on rock and some of these things with light. You can have your own understanding, and it may just be as right, just seen a little differently. However, it helps you to understand it. Dharma, a bit of different perception, and Alan and Oberly will simply look foolishly at both of you and wonder, what in the world is wrong with you? All you need accept is that you are a working aspect of the whole, and go about wherever it is that aspect of God is experiencing. Sorting. Now comes the more difficult portion. It is thy training and purpose to train your negative aspects in the perfection of goodness. If you wish to return to God in purity and perfection, God is now in the separation of His aspects, which are experiencing on earth plane in the form of human, ones to the dark side of ones to the light side, all in infinite levels in between. Just like the good fruit from bad fruit, so we look at it. Wheat from the tares. He's going to separate, and we're going to separate ourselves, just like we do in the everyday world. This is because the perception in the higher mind needs 10 of the manifested thought forms, and cast them aside or bring them back within himself. Life is an aspect of experience within illusion, brought forth in slow vibration into manifested matter. The purpose is to function in such manner that you remain a being portion of God's thought forms, to continue experience within the creation. For you cannot be cast out from the thought patterns, completely whoosh, gone. If thy soul were in full perception of the subject, you would not be experiencing on earth plane. Earth plane is a manifested place for you to experience exactly as you are, in the density of thy perception of matter. All is but one. Here we go again. All you have to hold uppermost is that all is but one. Move on with the experience as the aspect of that one. You cannot think it out clearly, for all is also a spiral, a circle, and you shall always return to the exact place you have been. You must accept the growth and spiral toward the whole one, that you not get caught in the whirlpool of ignorance. Wisdom, knowledge, and truth is thy goal, for it is truly thy relationship with God and creation as one with it that must be thy goal. And that is even the first law of creation, the only law of creation. Digest this a few days, friends, and then we can discuss it again. I suggest, however, ye stop prying at it. Accept it, and it will become clear to you. All wisdom, all truth, all knowledge, however, is God's. Therefore, to expect to receive all from God, you must be willing to give all unto God. With mind, body, spirit, your time, everything. Everything's His in the end. You've got to put aside your thought and your beliefs. Put it aside. Or else you're not going to be able to see from this point of view. Because of your beliefs. Oberly, it is time to begin to cross experience with Larry and Jane, for they are writing much history of thy new land, and you will see that much can be integrated to bring forth a whole view. There are many little aspects running about working toward the same overall goal, so let us begin to form the unit. Theirs will be from ancient aspect as well as has been coming forth this past week. Only names will be in difference. The word is becoming one. The wonders and glories are all about you. Do not miss of the rose that holds the key. Just like you don't miss the little signs He gives you every day. He gives you the stars to look at. He gives you the pretty clouds, the pretty skies, the sun, the moon. You know, a little ladybug here and there. All these little creatures. He gives you all these little things to look at if you'll just notice Him. Our Creator and our creations, and His creations. Our fellow creatures, as I like to think of it. But we harden our minds to what's in front of us in our busy lives. We miss all the beauty He already has here for us. And all we can think about is, oh, I can't wait to see the beauty in heaven. What about the beauty in front of you? You miss it. You're so fed up on something else, you miss what's right in front of you and around you. Constantly. He gives all these little signs and symbols and everything else to you. If you'll just open your eyes. The wonders and glories are all about you. Do not miss of the rose. That holds the key. Ye are of the garden, ripe unto harvest, and the master gardener is on his way. These other ones fall under the guidance and tutoring of other energy focused than am I. But the project of earth mankind is all one. We cannot do of it for earth man, and we cannot do it of it without Earthman. Further, Earthman cannot do of it without us, of the outer dimensional freedoms. It's good to have an objective view on some things, you know. A wondrous experience indeed. As with any grand relationship, it is good communication in truth and sharing as a wholeness, without withholding from the other, that will reap the wondrously abundant harvest and glory. The brotherhood of wholeness. The brotherhood of man in light, wisdom, and knowledge, through truth and love is the route, the fuel. Let this be a short lesson this day, Dharma, for we have overdone our welcome from thy mind and fingers this segment called weak. As your Sibor, Sheila, I am so well pleased with mine troops. You have done good works and such a great service unto thy fellow man. I am honored to be called thy Sibor. I am forever in thy service. Salut, salut, salut. In the mighty presence of that I am, that is, of that which I am, I clear this frequency, Commander Georgos Cirrus Haton. Leaving circuit out, and that'll be the end.